So we're standing outside the Learjet 75, which is 2 generations on from the original private jet. So one of the things about this particular aircraft is its very dark grey paint job, and that's quite unique really. You can pretty much have any colour you want in a private jet as long as it's white. One of the things that marks out the Learjet is its sort of stabiliser fins underneath the aircraft at the back, and those were on the original Learjet 23 back in 1964. So the Learjet 75 has twin Honeywell engines, and that can propel it up to 465 knots. We've got this lovely cantilevered winglet, sort of swept back design integrated into the wing, and I just think that looks pretty sexy. What it actually does is increase the efficiency of the aircraft, so over the previous Learjet 45 model, and that just means you're burning less fuel, causing less turbulence, maybe a smoother ride as well. So this particular Learjet was only delivered last year, so it's a very new private jet. It's only been around for less than a year. And it's got some lovely features on the interior, like quilted leather seats, mood lighting which you can control from your seats, and a champagne bar up at the front. It has a 2 club configuration, so that's 4 seats facing each other in the front, 4 seats facing each other in the back. And you can do all the standard stuff on the seat, you know, move your seat forward and back, recline quite far, and also move up your armrest, which is nicely integrated into the seat. Lavatory in the back, which can also double as an extra seat for a passenger, which is actually fine, probably nicer than most people's apartments. You've also got in here the usual sort of technology here on a fold-out table, nicely polished. And then, rather uniquely for a private jet, you've got a pop-out sort of multimedia service here. So not many private jets have this. Every single seat in the aircraft, all 8 of them, have a sort of multimedia setup here where you can control lighting. I can turn on my table light and my reading light. I can see where the aircraft is in the world. So we're just at Biggin Hill, just south of London. I can also watch a movie if I wanted to. It's even got a media server here, so I can watch lots of in-flight movies. I can change my volume. I can set the audio up in the aircraft on any seat. That's rather unique. Most private jets don't bother with sort of in-flight entertainment. Most passengers today bring their iPads or they're reading books or something else like that. So this is a really, really nicely equipped private jet. So we've booked this particular Learjet through Stratajet, and the company has taken us out to Majorca to see what it can do. And so the idea is that Zenith, the operators of this aircraft, have an agreement with Stratajet to allow people to get instant quotes on how much that plane might cost. And that's incredibly innovative, and that's completely new in the last couple of years. Johnny, tell me a little bit about yourself and about Stratajet.
Sure, I'm Johnny Nicol, I'm the founder of Stratajet. We're down in Palma. We just came out here for 24 hours so I could try and demonstrate what the benefits of private aviation are and why it shouldn't be seen purely as an enormous piece of luxury, but actually a very efficient way of travelling.
So we've come down for a nice luxurious couple of days.
We really have, haven't we? And also an unofficial experiment to see how sunburnt I can get.
So you've told me about how you've built your business and you've had to meet hundreds of private jet operators, is that right?
Yeah, I think the figure's now 330 private jet operators in 2 continents, so the whole of Europe and the US as well. I think we're about 6 times bigger than British Airways in terms of number of aircraft. But it was also critical. It was an industry which really hadn't moved forward in 100 years since the dawn of aviation. And my vision for it was to make it accessible. You know, the entire idea of private flying is about freedom. It's about saving time. It's about experiencing travel without feeling like you've travelled. And it's really traditionally only been experienced by a very small number of people. It's been a bit like a private members club. It's very hard to actually go and get a quote for a private jet. So I wanted to open that up, make it so that anybody could, as easily as going onto an app. And I also wanted to increase the efficiency. There are two pillars Stratajet's built on. The first one is the ability to just immediately get a quote for a private jet and book it there and then if you want to. And the second one was to try and decrease the inefficiency. So 40% of all flights had no passengers on board. Now, we don't sell seats, but what we can do is find an aircraft that's due to fly empty, and if it's going in roughly the same direction as a customer wants to go, we can offer the customer a hugely reduced price. In fact, we were just checking the app and we found we could get everybody back to London from here for about half the price, and that was because there's an aircraft going in from Madrid back to London, and by coming over here, picking us up and taking us back, we're able to offer a big discount. When you start to put groups of people together, that can really start to make financial sense.
Tell me about the flight today on the Learjet 75 down to Majorca.
Yeah, and we flew pretty much straight down at flight level, like 42,000 feet, or flight level 420, as pilots sort of say. But yeah, that was higher than most commercial air traffic. So we just came pretty much straight here, 2-hour flight, half an hour to the hotel, and we were having lunch.
And do you know roughly how much that flight cost per passenger?
Well, we can easily check it out on the app, but my rough guess would be around £750 per person, and that was for a fresh charter. There was no empty leg there.